The silence between us. They used to talk about everything, about how the rain smelled in spring, or how they dreamed of growing old together. Now they sit in the same room with miles of silence between them, until one day, that silence starts to whisper back. The apartment was still, not empty, but still, the kind of stillness that feels heavy. He sat at the table scrolling through his phone. She read her book by the window. Two bodies, one home, and a silence that stretched further than words could travel. It hadn't always been this way, but over time, the conversations faded, not because they had nothing to say, but because everything they needed to say became too heavy to speak. It started one night soft, like a breeze through an old curtain, a voice, faint, almost imagined. "I miss how he used to look at me." She turned around. He hadn't said a word, but she heard it clearly. Later, he heard one too. "I'm tired of pretending we're okay." He glanced at her, heart racing, but her lips hadn't moved. They didn't talk about it. They didn't have to. They both knew now. The silence was no longer silent. In the days that followed, the whispers grew louder, not shouted, not spoken, just there, thoughts hanging in the air like perfume impossible to ignore. "I'm scared you don't love me anymore. I wish you'd ask how I'm feeling. I feel invisible." Each meal became a minefield, each glance a confession. Their thoughts betrayed the words they never dared speak. They avoided eye contact. They slept back to back, and in the space between them, the silence grew teeth. Then came the night everything fell apart or came together. A quiet dinner, forks scraping plates, and then the loudest silence yet. "Why didn't you fight for us? I thought you stopped caring." "I didn't stop. I was just scared." No lips moved, but everything was said. And for the first time in months, they looked at each other, really looked. He reached across the table. She didn't pull away, and then she whispered out loud, "I don't want to be alone together anymore." And he said with his voice this time, "Then let's try again." They didn't fix everything that night, but the silence softened. They began to speak awkwardly, clumsily, honestly. Words filled the air again, not to cover the silence, but to walk beside it. Because sometimes the loudest cries are the ones we never say. And healing begins with a single word, hello. If your silence could speak, what would it say? What truth is waiting behind your unspoken words? Maybe it's time to break the silence. Leave a comment below with the one thing you've never said out loud. And if this story found you at the right time, like, share, and subscribe. Because sometimes the stories we seek are the ones we're afraid to tell.